Barack Obama's message about hope and belief in change stands as one of the most powerful themes in his speeches. He often reminds people that hope is not just a feeling or a wish. It is a choice, a discipline, and a driving force that allows individuals and societies to overcome fear, doubt, and adversity. In Obama's words, hope is what has guided humanity through its darkest hours. It is what allows people to look beyond their current struggles and imagine a better tomorrow. He believes that genuine progress is never easy or instant. It requires faith in the idea that every small action, every act of courage, and every step toward improvement can build momentum for something larger. This belief in change, grounded in hope, is what separates those who dream from those who act. Obama's personal story serves as living proof of this principle. From humble beginnings, he rose to the highest position in the world, not because of privilege or luck, but because he never stopped believing that effort and vision could break barriers. His journey illustrates that hope is not naive, it is strategic. It's what keeps people moving when everything around them suggests giving up. He often tells young people that cynicism is the greatest threat to progress, because once you stop believing that change is possible, you stop trying. His speeches invite audiences to resist negativity and embrace the power of hope as a tool for transformation. But Obama's version of hope is not self-centered, it is deeply collective. He believes that true hope grows when communities unite under a shared purpose, when individuals see their personal struggles as connected to the struggles of others. He speaks of how societies move forward only when people come together with empathy, compassion, and determination. This collective form of hope is what builds nations, reforms systems, and ignites revolutions for justice and equality. Through his words, he teaches that every person, no matter how small they may feel, plays a role in shaping the future. Hope gives that role meaning and energy. It encourages people to stand up for what's right, even when the odds are stacked against them. Obama's speeches remind listeners that history has always been made by those who dared to believe in something better, even when the world told them not to. Hope, in this sense, is both an act of courage and an act of defiance against despair. It is the spark that keeps humanity progressing through centuries of struggle. Obama urges people not to see hope as something they wait for, but something they create through action, perseverance, and unity. By believing in change and embodying hope in their daily lives, individuals become part of a larger story of human advancement, one that proves, time and again, that nothing is impossible when people dare to believe. Barack Obama's reflections on perseverance and hard work form one of the central pillars of his motivational philosophy. Throughout his speeches, he emphasizes that success is never about instant results or effortless victories. It is about resilience, patience, and the willingness to keep pushing forward when the path gets hard. He often shares that life will always present obstacles, and the true test of character lies in how a person responds to those challenges. According to Obama, hard work is not just about physical effort. It's about mental strength, emotional endurance, and the discipline to stay focused even when no one is watching. He believes that every meaningful accomplishment in life requires persistence, and that failure is not the opposite of success, but an essential part of the process. His own life story demonstrates this truth. Before becoming president, Obama faced rejection, doubt, and countless setbacks. Yet he never allowed those moments to define him. Instead, he learned from every defeat, using them as stepping stones to improve and grow stronger. He encourages people to embrace challenges as opportunities to test their limits and develop inner strength. When he speaks to young audiences, he often tells them that the world does not reward excuses, it rewards effort. The road to achievement is long, filled with moments of uncertainty and frustration, but perseverance turns those moments into growth. Obama's words carry the message that nothing worthwhile comes easily, and that instant gratification often leads to shallow results. True fulfillment comes from committing to a long-term vision and putting in consistent effort toward it. He teaches that hard work is a reflection of self-respect. It shows how much a person believes in their own potential. He also acknowledges that the journey of perseverance is not a solitary one. Support, mentorship, and teamwork matter deeply, but personal responsibility remains the foundation. No one can put in the effort for you. You have to earn it yourself. In his speeches, Obama often mentions how people spend too much time waiting for luck or opportunity instead of preparing for the moment when it finally arrives. Preparation, he says, is the real secret to success. Every hour of hard work builds skill, character, and confidence, so when opportunity knocks, you are ready to answer. His message extends beyond personal success. Perseverance is also necessary for creating change in communities and nations. Social progress, he argues, does not happen overnight. It requires decades of effort, countless voices, and relentless determination. Whether it's fighting for equality, justice, or innovation, progress always belongs to those who refuse to give up. Obama reminds people that the journey will always be filled with critics, distractions, and setbacks, but the ones who endure are the ones who eventually make history. He believes that hard work gives life meaning. It connects people to purpose and builds the inner confidence that no failure can destroy. Perseverance, in his view, transforms ordinary individuals into extraordinary examples of what humanity can achieve when it refuses to quit. One of Barack Obama's most profound teachings is about unity and the collective strength that comes from working together. Throughout his speeches, he consistently reminds people that progress is never the work of one individual. It is the result of many hands, hearts, and minds coming together with a shared vision. Obama often says that despite differences in race, religion, background, or belief, humanity is bound by a common destiny. He believes that when people focus on what unites them rather than what divides them, they unleash the greatest power available to humankind, the power of community. His message of unity is not just political, it is deeply human. He teaches that cooperation and compassion are essential for solving the challenges of the modern world. Whether it's poverty, injustice, or inequality, no one can fix these issues alone. It takes collective will and shared responsibility to build a better future. Obama also emphasizes that unity does not mean uniformity. He acknowledges that people will always have different opinions, perspectives, and experiences, but he argues that diversity should be seen as a strength, not a weakness. When people listen to each other with respect, they expand their understanding and create solutions that are fairer and more inclusive. He often speaks about empathy, the ability to see the world through another person's eyes, as the foundation of true unity. Without empathy, communities fragment. With it, they flourish. Obama's speeches often encourage people to move past anger and bitterness, to choose dialogue over division. He believes that progress requires the courage to reach out to those we disagree with and find common ground. He also ties unity closely to the concept of shared progress. In his view, society cannot truly move forward if only a few people benefit while others are left behind. He reminds audiences that success is most meaningful when it uplifts others too. Obama often uses stories from American history to illustrate this, showing how every major step forward, from civil rights to women's rights, was achieved when ordinary people stood together for a common cause. His words carry a powerful reminder that the strength of a nation is not measured by the wealth of a few, but by the well-being of all. Moreover, Obama challenges the culture of division and negativity that often dominates public discourse. He urges people not to see their opponents as enemies, but as fellow citizens who love their country too, even if they see it differently. His idea of unity is not naive. It is built on mutual respect, compromise, and the belief that everyone has a role in building the world they want to see. He often says that the greatest progress happens when individuals choose cooperation over conflict, when they decide to bridge differences instead of deepening them. Ultimately, Obama's vision of unity is about collective strength, the understanding that humanity's greatest achievements are born not from isolation, but from solidarity. When people work together, they can overcome fear, hate, and inequality, proving that unity is not just a moral ideal, but a practical force for lasting change. Barack Obama's message about responsibility and leadership centers on the idea that every individual has a role to play in shaping a better world. He believes that leadership is not defined by titles, positions, or authority, but by the willingness to take responsibility for one's actions and the courage to stand for what is right. In his speeches, Obama often reminds people that change does not begin in government offices or boardrooms. It begins in homes, schools, and communities when ordinary people decide to make a difference. He encourages everyone, especially young people, to recognize that they are not powerless. Each decision, no matter how small, contributes to the larger story of society. Responsibility, to him, means owning your choices, learning from your mistakes, and continuing to act with integrity even when no one is watching. He believes that greatness is built not on perfection, but on accountability and consistency. Obama's philosophy of leadership also emphasizes service. He often says that true leaders serve others, not themselves. Leadership is about empowering people, listening to their concerns, and guiding them toward collective progress. He challenges the idea of leadership as dominance or control. Instead, he defines it as influence through example. A real leader, in his view, inspires others to be better and to believe in their own potential. Obama's own leadership style reflected this belief. He led through calmness, humility, and thoughtfulness. He demonstrated that power used with compassion and restraint has a greater and more lasting impact than power used for self-interest. In his speeches, Obama frequently reminds people that responsibility begins with self-discipline. If you want to change the world, you must first change yourself. He stresses the importance of education, hard work, and moral clarity as the foundations of responsible living. He warns against blaming others for failures or waiting for someone else to solve problems. Instead, he urges individuals to take initiative to volunteer, to speak up, to act where they can make a difference. He believes that when people take responsibility for their communities, they build stronger societies that reflect shared values and collective purpose. Obama also acknowledges that leadership is not easy. It often means standing alone, making unpopular decisions, and facing criticism. But he teaches that real leadership is tested during times of adversity. A leader must stay calm under pressure, show empathy in conflict, and remain hopeful when others lose faith. This kind of leadership earns respect not through words, but through actions that align with values. Obama's lessons on responsibility also extend to citizenship. He believes that being a good citizen means participating, voting, speaking out, and staying informed. Democracy, he says, only works when people take it seriously. When individuals step up and fulfill their responsibilities, society moves closer to justice and equality. Ultimately, Obama's idea of leadership is deeply human. It's about being accountable, compassionate, and courageous. He teaches that anyone can be a leader, at home, at work, or in their community, if they choose to lead by example. Responsibility gives life purpose, and leadership built on integrity creates legacies that outlive the individual. Through responsibility, people find strength. Through leadership, they inspire others to do the same. Barack Obama's reflections on purpose and legacy form the emotional core of many of his most memorable speeches. He often challenges his audience to think deeply about what truly gives their life meaning and what kind of mark they want to leave behind. To Obama, success is not measured by wealth, fame, or power, but by the impact one has on others and on the world. He believes that every individual, regardless of background or circumstance, has the ability to live a purposeful life. Purpose, in his view, is what transforms existence into significance. It is what gets a person out of bed each morning with determination and hope, even in the face of difficulties. He reminds people that purpose does not always reveal itself instantly. It must be discovered through reflection, learning, and action. Finding purpose means aligning your talents and passions with something greater than yourself, a cause, a mission, or a vision that contributes to the collective good. Obama's speeches often highlight that living with purpose requires courage and patience. The modern world constantly pushes people toward comfort, convenience, and material success, but he encourages individuals to look beyond those distractions. True fulfillment comes not from personal gain, but from service to others. He often says that the happiest and most successful people are those who dedicate their energy to something meaningful, whether it's helping a community, mentoring the next generation, or fighting for justice. Through purpose, challenges become meaningful, and even setbacks become part of a larger story of growth and contribution. He teaches that people who understand their why can endure almost any how. He also ties the idea of purpose to legacy. Obama frequently asks his listeners to consider what they will leave behind when they are gone. Legacy, for him, is not just about achievements that make headlines, but about small acts of kindness, integrity, and courage that inspire others. He believes that each person has the power to shape the future by how they live today. Every word spoken, every action taken, and every life touched adds to a ripple effect that continues long after one's lifetime. Obama often quotes the idea that we plant trees whose shade we may never sit in, meaning that true greatness lies in doing good without expecting reward. Another important aspect of Obama's philosophy on purpose is the belief that it evolves. As people grow, learn, and face new challenges, their sense of purpose deepens. He encourages people never to stop asking themselves what kind of difference they want to make. Even small steps, he says, matter: teaching a child, helping a neighbor, standing up for someone in need. These simple acts create waves of positive change that spread far beyond what we can see. Ultimately, Obama's message is that purpose and legacy are not distant dreams. They are built through daily choices. Every moment is an opportunity to do something meaningful, to lift someone up, or to stand for what is right. A life of purpose is not just about success, it's about significance. And when people live with that mindset, they don't just make a living, they make history.